Rachel here from Rachel Bella Crafts. I hope you're all well. Just for today's video, I thought you might like to join me while I carry on working on my design team project using the Blossom Song kit. So what I've done, I think since I last showed you, I've now stitched all of the pages of the journal. So I've gone through using different types of stitches just to add a little bit of a decorative element to it. I didn't want to stitch through that because I was afraid I might tear it. But yeah, so I've just let it play about really with the different types of stitching on the sewing machine. And I've also added this page here because I just felt that that went really well with the kit. That is from the Stampin' pad. I think it's the Imagine kit. I'll have to double check on that. I've added in one of the pockets that we made in the last video. And again, like I said, just gone through and just added little bits here and there just to give it a bit more interest, and also to secure all of the lace in place. So that's been done all the way through the journal. Now I think I mentioned when I showed you this journal last week that I'm going to try really hard not to get this too bulky, because I can't express how much easier it has been working with journal that has got elastic binding on it. I've been able to take it in, I've been able to take it out, I've been able to do different things with it, put it back together, and rather than just having the two signatures just bouncing around on the desk or they're waiting to be put in, I just slide them back in then when I'm done. So I've been able to add a few pages, change a few things around, and as I go through now putting in pockets and things, it may not there may be things and I think, oh, actually perhaps that page works better here or there, but at least it's given me the flexibility to do that. So yeah, that's been really helpful. So yeah, so I'm just going to make a start now and put in some pockets in. I've obviously put one in here, and I just want to look at just the different tucks and elements that we're going to add. Yeah, so I hope you all had a good day yesterday. I think you are on Tuesday now. I'm trying to work out now because I'm just trying to do a few filming ahead now to free up my week a little bit. But I got up this morning and I was like struggling a little bit for inspiration. I'd done all this on, I think it was either Thursday or Friday last week, and I don't know if you were the same, but sometimes when you just you have a good hard go at it, and then when you have a break for a couple of days then, because obviously the weekend comes and you want to do things with family or what have you, I tend to lose my flow a bit then. So I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do now with this journal? So I was talking to Mum a couple of weeks ago about, I was in a bit of a spot again then, and I kind of like lost my flow. And she said, well, last year I made a journal and sent it to Gail to thank her because she'd very kindly promoted our Etsy store earlier in the year. And she said, well, why don't you go through and watch your video that the video of your journal? And she had a look at that, and she said, it was really lovely and one thing and another. She perhaps might get a few ideas from it. So I said, oh, actually that's not a bad idea, and I've completely forgotten. So this morning I got it and I thought, do you know what, I'm going to go and look at the video. So rather than just, what we always say about looking for inspiration, looking at other people's work, but this morning that wasn't the kind of inspiration I needed. I needed to go back and look at what I had done. And this is perhaps, an example of why it's important for us to take photographs of the things that we make. Even if you're making journals to give them away or to sell them, you don't always have them there. Take pictures, because you're going to have times where you've forgotten, how to do this, how to do that, or that you've used this design or something. And it's good. It's just good to have that little bit of a that memory there then to go back on and just to recap. And I just found that really helpful this morning. So I sat there with my little notebook and made a load of notes, and thought, oh yeah, I forgot I did that, and I forgot I did that pocket, and I don't know, just found it really helpful anyway. So just a bit of useless information there if you want. So there you are. If you are a bit stuck, go back and look at pictures of your work. Make sure you take lots of photos. This is why we kind of encourage you to share pictures of your work in the groups. Again, it's just adding a little bit of inspiration for one another. And I quite like that one there, actually. It's a bit fussier, isn't it? You can go back yourself then afterwards and take a look through and think, oh gosh, I'd forgotten I'd put that on there, or, you know, so-and-so give me that idea. I keep telling myself I'm going to make a a journal of ideas, and then it just never seems to happen. Life gets in the way, or rather another journal gets in the way, and I just don't end up doing it then. So yes, that's definitely on my to-do list soon, preferably before Christmas, because then I want a whole different set of ideas, haven't I? But talking about finding ideas for inspiration, oh my gosh, have you all been watching Louise, I want to say Heinzel, I think that's how you say her name. She's done a project, a collaboration, sorry, with some of the other artists on YouTube. So I'm afraid now if I say their names, I'm going to forget one. I'm not going to say their names. You all know who they are. But I've been watching over the weekend 14 Dragonflies, Barbara's journal that she sent, or her signature that she sent. So basically, if you haven't seen it, Louise Heinzel has created the most beautiful digikit. I mean, to use the word beautiful doesn't feel like it's even covering it. It is outstanding. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, she really is phenomenally talented. And she's made this beautiful, beautiful digikit. And it is so, it's huge for a start, but it is so busy. I think a lot of us would perhaps at first think, oh my goodness, how on earth would I ever work with these papers? They're all done. You know, sometimes I work with some kits sometimes, and you think, oh, you know, I don't want to do anything to the page because, or to the tag, for instance, because it's already got a lot on there. Well, my goodness, that's nothing compared to her kit. It is literally full to the brim with detail. It is stunning. And it's all the colours that we all love working with, you know, the teals, the blues, the golds, the yellows, pinks, all those colours are in there, and some colours that you think probably shouldn't be together, but they are, and it works, and they're just so lovely. So yeah, anyway, she's asked, I think it's 5 other artists to, if they will each make a signature to go into a journal. So they're all making their own signatures, and they are then sending them to Louise. So there's a couple of videos on each of their YouTube channels. I will put the link down below for you, so you can go and have a look if you haven't seen it, because you really mustn't miss this. It's fantastic. And they are then making their signatures, and they are then posting them to Louise, and she then does a flip through of each artist's signature on a different video, you know. And the final project, she is going to bind them all and make a large journal. And this is the important bit, that she is going to give away. So we're not quite sure yet how the giveaway is going to be done, because I think the last one I saw, she was still waiting for Tina from Shabby Dabby Doodah's signature to get there, because obviously post is not fantastic on times, so they were waiting for that to arrive. But she's had the rest of them. They've all been shown on there. And when she does that, she's then going to tell us how we can all enter this competition to win this fantastic journal. I mean, can you imagine that, having a journal with all these different signatures made by you know, all these really talented artists? But it's been so inspiring, the ideas. And like, I was watching Barbara's video the other day, and then watching Louise opening her her signature up and going through it and thinking, like, you know, some of the things that she's done are just so I don't want to use the word simple, because it makes it sound like it's not great, because they're awesome, but the ideas are really, they're simple. They're the basics of the grounding, I suppose, of what we do when we're making junk journals. And you know, I think sometimes perhaps we overcomplicate things for ourselves. It's the only way I can think of putting it. But yeah, she's really just used some fantastic ideas, thoroughly inspired me. I mean, you probably will look at this journal and see straight away that I was watching that on that weekend, because it's really sparked off my imagination and just sparked off some brilliant ideas for me. Mum and I had already had a go with these pages here to do the coffee dye with the, you know, the splatter in one thing and another, and just jazzing them up. But yeah, just some really fantastic ideas. So clever. So definitely, guys, go and check that out. That is a series not to be missed. And I think what's lovely about it as well is that I think I'm right in saying that the artists come from all over the world. I'm just trying to think about it now. So yeah, so you've got Roxy, then you've got Tina, so that was in the UK, and you've got 14 Dragonflies. I'm trying to think what the other one is. Oh, Flipsy, this is why I'm going to mention names, because I knew I'd miss one out. And I think there's a lady from Spain, Christina, I think her name is. I don't know the name of her channel, I'm afraid. They all seem to have difficulty pronouncing it, so. But I'm sure one of them said that she was from Spain, so I haven't seen hers yet. But, oh yeah, definitely, go and check it out. I will try to remember to put the link in the thing. If I forget to put the link and you need to know what it is, just write in the comments and I will add it on. Because by the time I upload my videos, I've wandered off and slept sometimes, and then I just forget. So I don't do it on purpose. But yeah, really interesting ideas. And I don't watch a lot of, I don't get time, unfortunately, to watch a lot of videos. So when I do, I tend to sit and, what's the word? Binge watch, that's it. And then I watch loads then. So that's what I did on Friday and Saturday. I just pretty much spent my weekend catching up on all my favourites on YouTube and some of the newer ones that were on there, some new projects that were on there. And I went back to some really old stuff. And it's just good sometimes. It's just good to go back, isn't it? And to look at different things and different ways that people do things, you know. So, and then of course, this morning, managed to have myself a little printing issue. Look what I did. I went over to print out my labels, and I forgot I put vellum in there. So we may have some vellum labels in this journal. Who knows? That wasn't what I was meant to do, but I think what they call it, a happy accident. So yeah, I'm just Mum made some more of these splatter coffee dye papers on the weekend. So I've used some this morning to cut out little circles. So I'm just going to make a little flower to go up at the top, a little embellishment, because it's just a nice simple thing to do. I'd seen it in my journal on Gail's video and I'd forgotten I'd done it. But yeah, I think we get a bit stuck in the things that we do sometimes, don't we? And it's just good to have a refresh. So yeah, I definitely need to get that ideas journal done though at some point, because I think that would be invaluable, just to have a bit of a reference, you know. Because we all have days where we just, you know, not feeling it, or your brain's somewhere else, and then it stunts your creativity then. So yeah, so I don't know what you all got up to on the weekend. We had a busy one. Mum started on Saturday with Mum texting me. She was super excited. She'd received her journal from Brenda, and Brenda Butler is in she's in lots of she's on Facebook. She's in lots of groups on Facebook and is very active, and she does lots of the swap events, and her work is fantastic. And I've previously had an ephemera swap with Brenda. I think it was an ephemera swap, I'm trying to remember now. But she did a journal swap with Mum last week, because we had a journal swap event, and they were partnered up. I think they were the only two in the UK as well, so that fell quite nicely. And Saturday morning, Mum had her journal. Oh my goodness, she was so excited. So I went up there in the afternoon, I think it was. Yeah, we went up there in the afternoon. I took my boys up and we went up and had a little look. And my gosh, Brenda, it was absolutely beautiful. Again, just so lovely to see other people's ideas, and it just really sparks things off in yourself, you know, and you think, oh yeah, you know, I could do something like this or something like that. Not to necessarily go away and copy, but it should inspire you to be able to, you know, take their ideas and perhaps go and do something similar yourself, but in your own style, because obviously we do all our own style do things. But on the other hand, you know, I don't think it's very difficult actually to completely copy something somebody else has done, I find anyway, because I find whatever you do, you know, you're always going to end up some way doing something in your own style, aren't you? I know sorry for coughing. I know I put a video on a couple of weeks ago when one of the ladies who was watching, she sent me a lovely message and asked if I'd minded if she'd duplicated the idea, and I said, oh my goodness, no, of course not. That's the whole reason why obviously we do these videos, is to give you ideas so you go away and do it as well. Now if you were to make something and put a picture on Facebook and it looked exactly like mine, I would not be offended, I would not be cross, in fact I would be flattered. So, you know, don't ever feel that, I know sometimes people are worried like, oh, you know, you mustn't copy, or you mustn't. It's not about copying. What you must never do is claim that something's yours when you have copied it from somebody else. That's really important. But to try to imitate perhaps the art, and you find it, you will always end up it being done in your own style, in your own way, you know, even if you do it with different papers or whatever. But that is kind of like the whole purpose of why we do these tutorials on YouTube, is to give you guys ideas, and in the hope that you will go away and recreate them. So yeah, you know, never worry about that. But just again, you know, being able to look at somebody else's journal, to have it in your hands. You know, we see a lot of things when we, you know, we're watching them on YouTube, or you go on Pinterest for ideas, or Instagram, or what have you. But to be able to actually have it in your hand, you know, it's like listening to Louise on her videos. You know, you can just hear the joy in her voice. She's just so overwhelmed by how lovely everything that she's looking at, and what's been sent to them, how they've, you know, how they've done it. And I think as well, when you make digi-kits yourself, is to see how somebody else uses your designs. Because we've got a project running this month, a bit of a trial design team guest project thing going on with our kits, and we've had quite a lot of ladies sign up to it. It's been wonderful. We've had so much great feedback. And now as we're coming towards like the middle to the latter part of the month, you know, a lot of them are starting to finish them up. And it's just so lovely seeing how they've used the kits. And I was a bit worried at first, because obviously I had so many people message me, and I didn't want to say no to anybody. So I was like saying, yeah, that's fine. And, you know, asking them which kit they wanted to work with and sending them the kit. And then after a bit, then it was like, oh, we've got 3 people working on that kit, or there's 2 people working on that kit. And then I realised after it really doesn't matter, because everybody's so different and everybody's style is so different. So, you know, like I say, this is the great thing that this project that Louise is doing has shown us, really, is that no matter how we do things, somebody may come behind us and do it as well, but they're always going to do it slightly differently. So, you know, that's why I know a lot of people are not into digital kits, and that's absolutely fine. You know, they prefer to do things using, you know, perhaps the more traditional junk journal methods. And again, that's great, because, you know, as we say, each to their own. And wouldn't it be boring if we were all the same anyway? But you know, don't be put off because you're scared or you don't know what to do with one. You really just have to be able to make it your own sometimes. So yeah, it's been an inspiring weekend. So thank you for sharing that with us, Brenda, and taking part in the swap, because it's been lovely. And I really enjoyed that. It was her first journal swap. She was quite apprehensive, and yeah, just lovely to be able to actually own, I think, a piece of somebody else's art. That's a real pleasure, that is, isn't it? So yeah. What else did we do this weekend? I'm just trying to think. Oh my gosh, it seems so long ago already. Oh, of course, it was Father's Day. That's right. It was Father's Day this weekend. So after church yesterday, we went to visit Dad and Mum, but obviously Dad for Father's Day, and took him up his present. And I think he was more chuffed because I lit the fire while I was there, because it's a cold day. I don't know what on earth happened to summer. I did say to you all last week, didn't I? Oh, we've got summer. It'll last for about 10 days. I don't even think it's made it to that. It's literally been, my goodness, what did we have, a week and a half of it, I think, and it was over. So yes, that was that done with. But I think I'll put that there. So yeah, so we went up to see Dad yesterday, or I did, and with my youngest. Yeah, so my youngest and I went up and had a quick visit up there yesterday, and then we came back. Number 2 son was working all weekend, bless him, because he's got his Saturday job and a Sunday job now, so he's down there doing his thing. And then we were sat there. I came back, I said to my husband, I have to light the fire actually after it was really chilly yesterday. And I don't know whether perhaps I was tired because I had a couple of late nights doing my journals. But yeah, it was just really quite chilly. So we lit the fire, sat there chilling, and then my alarm goes off on my phone. I was like, oh, I gotta go and pick up my son. So we were meant to have gone to the cinema last week, but it's like, it's funny here because things are open, but obviously you've got to remember to book things. And I think we'd been procrastinating a little bit about what we were going to go and watch. Not what we were going to, when we were going to watch it rather, I should say. And anyway, we'd missed the opportunity. So we were going to go and watch, is it Godzilla v King Kong? Something like that anyway. I was clearly enthralled. Not. Yeah, well, my choice of film, but anyway, I don't mind watching stuff like that, but it just doesn't like grip me, you know. So yeah, we missed the slot at to book for the cinema, so it was fully booked. And we were sat there yesterday afternoon, so my other half said, oh, crikey, so I meant to get that DVD. Well, apparently the film was out earlier in the year, and they must have been rerunning it at the cinema, but it's already out on DVD. So I was like, oh, why didn't you tell me this? So anyway, he was like, oh, well, you know, we could have got it in the supermarket. So I said, oh, well, come on, I got to go down and get number 2. So shall we, we'll all fly down. So we did. We all jumped in the car. It was literally like 20 minutes before the supermarket closed. And we all shot down to pick him up. So, of course, as we're sat in the car park waiting for him to come out of his shop, giggling then, and I said, he's going to come out now and he's going to think, my goodness, it's like... what they call the Walton's Day Out, you know, everybody sat in the car. Normally it's only me that shoots down to pick him up, but we're all in the car. So he was like, has you like all come to greet me or something? I'm like, no, it's fine, we just wanted to get DVD from the shops. He was like, oh, right, okay. So bless him, he got in the car then and then instantly sneezed, and I could hear this snuffly noise, and so I turned before I pulled off and looked at him and I said, are you not well? And he took his mask off of him, and his face was all, you know, when you've been really like rubbing your nose loads, it was all red around his nose. And he said, no, he said, I feel rough. And I said, what, do you feel rough, or have you just got like a runny nose, you know? I feel like this, I need to check this point, you know, in my voice. And he said, no, I do feel a bit rough. And I was like, right, okay. So everybody put their masks back on. I said, I think we better just check that you're all right, because obviously he's back in college today, and he had to go in and do his, he's got one of his final presentations for his Welsh back today. And I said, we better just get you checked, I think. So they all put their masks back on. Loving me was sat in the back, just trying to breathe with his mask on. And well, I drove us home, and then we text my, a relative of ours, anyway, because she has got lots of these, is it lateral flow? Is that what they're called? You know, the instant tests. So we've run out, so can we borrow one of yours and we'll give you one back? So she was like, yeah, come and grab one. So I dropped the boys home. We had to walk the dogs in, and then shot up there, got that, and then came back, did his test. Well, within half an hour, I knew everything was fine. So no, he was okay, and it wasn't COVID, and thankfully. But it's funny because we're at that point now where we're kind of almost forgetting that we're meant to be, you know, on the, because I was saying to how we were out walking the dogs, I said, it's funny, you don't hear now on the news and stuff, you know, like they used to keep putting those messages out, didn't they, saying, oh, you know, if you have these symptoms or whatever, but all that's gone like really quiet. So you know, it makes you wonder then if people are thinking of it anymore, or are we all just carrying on as normal now, well, as normal as we can. But So yeah, it did make me just stop and think for a second, and I said, oh, you know, perhaps we better just double check. But yeah, always good, thankfully. So that's the one good thing about these tests. It was the first time I'd had to use one for them, but really easy to use. I mean, it's easy for me to say easy to use. I want the one having to take the swab. There was a lot of snuffling and noises going on. I can't look. It's like, I don't like broken bones, and I don't like to watch somebody goes like that. But he was like, oh, this is horrible. I said, yeah, well, just suck it up, do it. Come on, we need to know you're all right. But yeah, I'm not Florence Nightingale. That's not my forte, unfortunately. Well, unfortunately for my other half of my kids. But I'm not uncaring, but I don't overfuss. I think that, you know, I like them to think, you know, don't get me wrong, if there was something seriously wrong, obviously I would be, but I'm very much a stiff have a look. Come on, we can get on with it now. You'll be fine, you know. You haven't vomited, you can go to school, you know, that kind of thing. Because, my goodness, otherwise they would never be in school, would they, the kids? They wake up with something wrong every morning, you know. We all feel like that sometimes. I mean, at certain points of the year, you find you wake up and you're a bit, you know, snuffly, or you've been snoring in the night and your throat's a bit sore. So your first instinct is, oh, I'm too ill. I don't want to get out of bed. And you know, as we're older now, as adults, we all know once you usually get up and have a drink or have a bit of breakfast, wet your whistle, you know, you're kind of all right then, aren't you? But yeah, I don't know about girls, but definitely with boys, their first instinct reaction is, oh, I don't want to go to school today. I don't feel well. Just like, come on, get to it. You're fine. So that was our little half-hour of drama yesterday, which thankfully turned out to be nothing. I didn't think I told my mother this yet, so she'll be watching this after saying, what? Oh, what? I didn't know that. I may have told her, but I may not have. I don't remember everything. So yeah, so what else did we do over the weekend? I think that was pretty much it. Oh yeah, and then of course we watched the DVD then last night. So I was sat there and I had lots to catch up on with the group page and some posts and stuff. Okay, so I've got one there, and we've got one there, and one there. Oh, I like that. There we go. So that was nice and easy, look, and I've managed to use some bits of the kit there. Well, I'm going to try on these vellum words, I think. Let's see if these work. I'm not going to waste them. For sure. Definitely not. Oh, I think we'll have these ones here. Thrive, Bloom and Grow. They look good. Our Blossom kit. Yeah, so, and of course we are on this diet, which, well, yes, we're on the diet. It's been, I think I've spent more of my week washing up dishes, which, considering my food is coming out of a packet, is miraculous, really, because I don't think I've ever had so much washing up in my life. So basically, my sister-in-law got me onto this diet, which is brilliant, and I'm doing a diet where I have all my meals sent to me, and I brought it in like a starter pack for the month. So I've got everything there. I've got breakfast, I've got lunch, I have evening meal, and then I have a snack as well, which you can either have mid-morning, or I tend to have mine after tea in the evening, because, you know, that's like my munchy time. So, and I know that I've got a treat for the end of the day. And there are all sorts of meals on there. So, you know, I have things like chili con carne, shepherd's pie, goodness, what else do I have? Oh, pasta carbonara, that's my new favourite. That was actually quite delicious. And I think there's like spag balls, a couple of other things as well. But yeah, so there's quite a variation. So that's the tea. Then there's all these different types of soups you can have for lunch, and shakes. And there's like, I don't know, my goodness, there's loads and loads of flavours of the shakes. That's really good. And then you can have a bar, and like a snack bar. You can only have one of those a day, and they're really yummy. So I have my, oh, scissors jumping then. I have my like diet bar, as I said, in the evening. And then my other half, who's also doing a diet, but he's not doing the one I'm doing, because I said there's no way you would survive on this. It's like a really low calorie thing. So obviously, like the first 3 days, you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm starving. And then you sort yourself out then, don't you? Everything's good. Well, you smile and pretend everything's good anyway. But yeah, no, it has. It has actually been really good. But there's no way he would be able to do that. He likes his food way too much. plus he's training for a triathlon, so to be able to you know, go that low on calories, he just wouldn't be able to do it. So he's doing keto. Now, I don't know if you've heard of keto. Basically, to me, it's like the old Atkins diet. I remember my brother doing that years ago, which didn't appeal to me at all because I'm not a great fan of meat, which is probably why I'm finding this diet plan so easy, because everything is, it's not, you're not actually eating meat, it's all like replacement stuff. Oh, that does look quite good on there, doesn't it? And oh my goodness, see, I even interrupt myself and forget my flow. But no, so he's doing this keto diet. So I had to ask my sister-in-law for lots and lots of advice, because it's my partner's brother and his partner who have obviously been doing it. So his brother's also done the keto one while she was doing the low calorie one, and he's done really, really well. So I still, well, you know, you've got to have the same kind of makeup, aren't you? It'll probably suit you as well. You're like, oh, okay. So anyway, he's trying that. But of course, the trouble is then when they're doing things like keto and Atkins diet, there's a huge amount of cooking involved. And I mean, it's not that I don't cook. I don't like cooking. I think I've told you this before. It's not my favourite pastime, you know. I think of far pleasurable things to do with my time, you know, crafting, making journals. But, you know, I'm not anti-cook, but I just don't, I'm not very adventurous, shall we say, in the kitchen. I struggle for ideas. Probably because having always spent most of my life on a diet or another, you know, you're usually quite limited into what you can eat. But when you've got to really think about food for somebody else, that's been hard this weekend. So, of course, he's eating things like omelettes. Well, of course, when I'm warming up my lunch then out of a packet, he wasn't doing it the first week. It was just me. And then he started his then the following week. So I'd kind of gotten into the flow of mine. And then, of course, I had to start making him solid food. And it was like, I'm making him an omelette and putting all this lovely veg in, you know, and his mushrooms and bacon. I'm going to make you all really hungry now. You know, a little bit of low-fat cheese. Oh my gosh, what else does he have in there? Oh, onion, of course. And it smells delicious. And I'm not really a huge omelette fan. You know, normally, I've always made him omelettes. You know, we tend to have that on a Saturday or whatever. But, oh my goodness, I'm dribbling making this food. And then, of course, you make an omelette, so then you've got the dirty pan, then you've got whatever else you've used. And so that's the first, that's usually lunch. And then it's a lot of meat. So, of course, everything he has, and you've just got to be cooking meat all the time. Well, then there's always a dirty, oh my goodness, that's turned into a heart shape. Sorry. There's always a pan then from the oven that needs to be washed. And there's saucepans because of the veg. The one good thing about the diet, well, not the one good thing, one of the good things about the diet that I'm on is that you can have a portion of veg with your evening meal sachet. So at least then I put the steamer on and we're having broccoli. I've never eaten so much broccoli in my life. Love it now. But, you know, we have broccoli and like things like, what do you call it? Sweden carrot mash and stuff like that. So you know, that's nice. It's a bit of flavour then as well. I don't like that on this, the wrong shape. And then we are, so do that. And of course then there's all those dishes. And then of course it's the children. So they've got to be fed. Who very rarely do they all eat the same meal. The older two are not so bad. But my younger one, he's a bit, you know, he's starting to branch out of it. In all fairness, he did come down yesterday and ask for a bowl of salad with his sandwich at lunchtime. And I kind of like looked at him and giggled as if to say, you're very funny. Are you making fun of mum because you're on a diet? He was like, no, seriously, he said he hadn't tried burgers until recently. I mean, he's 11. I keep saying he's 10. He's not 11 now. And he wanted to try some burgers a couple of weeks ago. Well, that's it now. He's like flat out, got to have a burger all the time now. So I'm like, well, if we're not having them that day, you can't have them, obviously. But yeah, so he came down, he wanted this bowl of salad, so I put a little bit in. I thought, I'm not going to put loads in because it's a waste then if they don't eat it, isn't it? And he came back and he was like, yeah, I didn't really like the salad, Mum, but I said, well, never mind, at least you tried, you know, you should have a go. But so that did make me giggle a bit. But yeah, it's just the dishes, just dishes. I feel like all I've done all weekend is wash up, and yet, like I say, I haven't eaten anything, so, well, not anything that's required cooking in a dish or a pan, so that has kind of like been a little bit like, oh, really? And I'm trying to get them all done, you know, every time I go out there, or doing them as I'm going along a lot of the time, because you don't want to have it all stacking up. And I think the one treat that we can have is jelly. So I don't know if you've got this, you've got a make here called Heart Trees, and they make they do jelly sachet powders, you know, and you have to make it up yourself then, obviously. And it's no sugar, low sugar, I don't know. Anyway, it's low something, but we're allowed to have that made up as a jelly. So we've been having that as our like Sunday evening dessert treat. So that's quite nice. Because the one thing I have found over this diet is I'm really thirsty all the time. Because you're meant to drink water, you're meant to drink loads and loads of water, but oh my goodness, I'm a no added sugar squash kind of girl. So I like a little tiny bit of flavour in my water. And I've struggled with that this week, so I know I haven't drunk as much as I should have. Sorry, that's annoying me tearing that. So that's been quite, that's been a bit of a trial, shall we say. But yeah, if you can get that, of course, if you don't have your water, there's a whole load of other complications come with that then, because you're not, you know, you need to have the water to flush your system through, don't you? But I think a lot of people struggle just drinking water all the time, you know, there's no flavour. If you haven't been doing that for a while, you know, I mean, obviously not all the time, but take that a bit more. So yeah, so that was kind of like the crux of the weekend. And then first played to my sister-in-law, she's been fab, because she sent me little motivating texts in the day, you know, how's it going, what have you had to eat today, don't forget you can do this, don't forget you can have that with it. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'd forgotten that. And so it's his weigh day today, mine's tomorrow, his is today, so we'll see how much he's lost then. So she did text me this morning, my sister, and she was like, right, come on then, you know, how did you get on? I started his work. I said, you haven't written it on the calendar, we'll be writing it down, so he's either forgotten to do it first thing this morning, or he's done it and he didn't want, or he forgot to write it on the calendar, or he's done it and he didn't want me knowing. So we'll have to wait till he gets in from work to find that out, won't we? There we go. Let's just make that a little bit more interesting on there. And we've got ourselves a nice little belly band. Oh, excuse me, is my tummy rumbling now? Look, it's telling me it's lunchtime. I know it's dinner time. You're going to have to wait because I'm busy a minute. There we go. Right, let me put a little bit of lace behind there as well. Now, what did I do with the bit I had from there? Right. So when I was first going to do this journal, I wanted to go with something that was quite shabby style. So I knew I wanted to use lots and lots of lace in it. But obviously I don't want to make it too bulky, so I'm trying to bring, oh, perhaps I'll put the lace on the top. I'm trying to bring the lace in without overdoing it and causing like lots of bulk. Does that make sense? I'll just try and glue that on for a minute. But also to leave lots of space, because I'm not going to fill this one up with ephemera. I'm just going to put pockets in and I'll add a couple of tags, but I want to leave this to not be too bulky so that whoever should own it then can make it their own and add obviously all their bits and pieces in, because I do find sometimes I over stuff my journals a bit, and it can then leave you sometimes a bit, you know, if you've been given or bought a journal like that, not knowing then, or not wanting to touch it really, because I know I do my journal swaps, and oh my goodness, I can't bring myself to write in any of the journals that I've been sent. They're lovely, they're works of art, you know, so they go up on my bookcase, but that's obviously not why I'm making these, so I want it to be a bit usable for someone. Yeah, so oh my goodness, as well, that was the highlight or not highlight of my day yesterday. I finally found 5 minutes on Saturday to do a quick order online. I needed some pads, and I wanted to order some, paper pads. I wanted to order some from, now is it Stamperia or Stamperia? Mum and I argue about this and I'm never quite sure, but anyway, them. And I was ages choosing them through the week, and then I went on, and then I went up and spoke to Mum, and I said, oh, you've got a look. I said, they're on offer now, and they're really good value. She was like, oh, right, okay, oh, I paid more than that for mine. And I was like, oh, I can just order these, I think. So anyway, I came back, did it quickly, did the order. Oh, my goodness. Got home yesterday. Oh, got back from church yesterday, and he'd already come. The delivery man had put them in my green bin. Now, for those of you that don't live in, oh my goodness, it's probably not even in my county actually, because we all do something different in the UK with our bins. But recycling is obviously huge here, and in the county that I live in, we have a green bin, and the green bin is for your garden waste. So every fortnight they take, they collect the green bin, and then on the opposite week then they do the black bin, which is general household waste. But all your little recycling ones, they get collected every week. So anyway, we've got a green bin. So you can imagine the state of my green bin. It's for grass cuttings, it's for, you know, your brambles, anything else that you've taken down or want to get rid of, and it's in there. And there were several snails in there. So when I came back, there was a note to the door. I put it in the green bin. I was like, oh no. Well, when I went and opened it then, thankfully, there was this giant snail in there that thankfully was not sitting on my package. So I brought it in and then plonked it on the floor, and then promptly forgot about it because I obviously didn't want to touch it straight away. I'm not quite sure what benefit I thought was to be had by not opening it. It wasn't going to get washed, was it? It was just on the floor. But anyway, I left it there for a little while. So I forgot about it all afternoon. Did all our running around, and then sat down in the evening then to watch the film, and noticed my boxes. So I was busy doing something on my laptop, and I said to myself, oh, I said, do me a favour. And another thing as well, I don't know why with Amazon at the minute, they seem to just like love sending loads of packages for things that could have actually all fitted into one package. So I think there were 4 there. And so, I mean, they all love it. Whenever, it's not very often I order stuff, and I certainly haven't ordered much over the last year, because I really, really want to use it, the things I've got. But, so, oh, packages to open. It's always exciting when somebody else's and you haven't paid for it, isn't there? So we went and picked up all the boxes, looking through. So I opened the first one. Oh yes, the first one. I had thought to myself, well, I struggle sometimes with light, and I'd been up a couple of nights last week, very, very late into the night, and I couldn't see what I was doing. And I keep thinking, oh, I'm going to have to get myself a little cheap lamp for the desk so I can see what I'm doing. And sometimes if I'm doing a video over the evening, or it's a bit of a dull day, you know, there's not enough light showing. So I ordered this little lamp. It was only like £3, I think, you know. It wasn't a lot at all, because, you know, you can't see it, you don't really know what you're getting. So I thought, oh, well, if it's not very good for £3, it's not too big an issue. And it looked like a nice desk lamp with, you know, the arm that reaches over that you can adjust. And also, the one benefit was it was wireless, so you didn't have to plug it in, and it recharges then off a USB lead to your laptop, or if you've got one of those little sockets. So when he opened the box and put it on the desk, and he said, "Oh look, this is Dutty. What have you bought this for? Do you want to see my lamp?" Oh, I can't even get it over here now because it's not. Oh, it's plugged in. Look how little that is. Dutty. I just looked at it and burst out laughing. I went, "Oh, you have got to be kidding me!" I mean, look at this lamp. Can you see that there? Shall I zoom out a little bit? There we go. That's it. That's my lamp. I mean, and look at the light. I bet you didn't even know I had it on, did you? I didn't even know I had it on. Why there's a dim on it, I don't know. Because dim is just, my goodness, it gives dim a whole new expression. But yeah, so that was my £3 lamp, which, well, I did have a giggle at. My son came in this morning, he was like, "Oh, what's that?" And I said, "Oh, the light that doesn't really light." But yeah, so that was the first package. Then he got to the next one, and I was again really excited now, because oh, my paper packs will be in here now. Opened it up. Gets out these paper packs, so I'm looking, and again, like I said, the light's not very good in my living room in the evening, so I was a bit like, what? That's not what I ordered. And when I looked, oh my gosh, they were they were this big. I thought I'd ordered 12 by 12, and I hadn't. I'd ordered 8 by 8 because I was so excited looking at the price, and I wasn't looking at the size. So I straight away texted my mum. I was like, "Oh, you won't believe what I've done." So she just laughed at me. Thanks for that, Mum. And she said, "Oh, you should always type in, you know, the size first. She said, I always type in 12 by 12. And I was like, oh, it didn't even occur to me. I didn't even know they did an 8 by 8. So be warned, if you're ordering paper pads online, always put the size in before you put in the make, because you may end up with a surprise. So yes, I was a bit, and then I realised afterwards then that the paper pad I thought I was ordering wasn't the one I'd ordered anyway. So it wasn't really that much of a disaster, because it wasn't what I thought I had come in. So I'll have to wait now until next month and I'll order the other one. But oh my goodness, I was so annoyed with myself. And you know, you can't even cross anybody else. That's just me, because I hadn't bothered to check, you know. So you just think, oh, honestly, for goodness sake. Right. When I was at Mum's on Saturday, we used some of the papers that she had splatter painted, and we used a die cut. So she's got a really good die cut that does these little shapes. Where's the thing it came out of? Oh my goodness, I'm so glad I can't see the state of my desk. Right, here we are. This will give you a better idea what I'm on about. Oh, should I zoom you back in a bit? Sorry. Left you out there then, didn't I? Here we go. Is that okay? I think so. Right. So she's got all these shapes here, and we put them all on the thing. Let me put them through the die cut thing. It's called Big Shot thing. You can use them then, obviously. I mean, a lot of you probably know this, but those of you that don't know, you can use them then to make little stacked hearts. Not hearts, flowers, paper flowers. So I'm going to do this one here, but I'm going to use some of the gold edging stuff to just put a little bit of gold on the edge, as inspired by Barbara from 49 Dragonflies, because she made something similar to this. I think hers was a little bigger than this one, and she too added the gold. So I'm going to give it a try and see if it works and how it looks. Okay, so I've got my paint now, and I've just done a little bit of a trial on those two there. I don't know if you can see that there, but I'm using it is acrylic, and it's like a pearl effect on it, so it's really nice and shiny. So I'm just gonna literally add a few dabs here and there, because obviously you can't see everything, and you can only see every other petal anyway. Excuse my little doggy snorting behind me, he's cleaning his foot. But I just think it'll just add a little bit of colour, so that'd be quite nice. And it'll brighten it up a bit, won't it? But yeah, I saw, I loved the way that Barbara had used the gold throughout her journal, well, her signature rather, for the project with Louise. And I just thought, I've not done much with other media. I tend to just stick with, you know, up until now I've just worked with paper and then obviously fabrics, because I love working with fabric. But I hadn't actually gotten around to doing any painting in there. Now, my parents are artists, proper artists, not like, you know, me making designs on the computer. They like, for real, with their hands, draw, paint. Their house is full of their artwork, and it is fantastic. My mother would never ever say that it was. She's terrible. She doesn't ever think that, you know, she doesn't. Well, when they moved, my son stopped her because she was trying to throw out a load of her old paintings. And he was like, "No, Granny, don't do that," and brought them home. So they're all up in his bedroom, bless him. But yeah, my mum and dad are really very talented. I don't know what happened with me, because I can't draw for toffee. I've never actually tried to just paint freehand, but I don't think I'd be very good at that either. But I'm creative in a different way. I like to make things. That was always my strength in school. So as soon as I saw what Barbara was doing, I thought, aha, I know we'll have all these things. And it was not the only reason I visited Mum on Saturday, you understand, of course. But I did go up and I was like, "Mum, in your shop, do you have?" So yeah, she was like, "Yeah, go and look in the cupboard." So they've got a whole cupboard there stacked full of all these different types of paints. Mum's tends to be more watercolours. Dad is the acrylic artist. My dad does a lot of abstract art, which is very, very colourful and very unique. Each one is, isn't it? But yeah, so I was able to salvage a few items from their drawers, because I certainly wasn't going to go out buying stuff, because that kind of would defeat the whole object of me using my junk journal. I know I do on rare occasion have to order things like glue, which was actually the only thing that came in my order yesterday that was correct, because we'd run out. So but the thing with some of the media, and not only that, if you haven't used it before, you don't know if you're going to want to do it again, or you know, and I find some of the stuff that we have then tends not to be used very often, so I just thought, well, I'll give it a try. So anyway, managed to grab some stuff off Mum's, which gave me some brushes and some different types of paints, and oh, and one of these, which is great, the fan brush, because then I can use that when I do some more of my papers, because that was great fun. So it's actually been quite a refreshing change this week to come away from the paper for 5 minutes. Now I know I'm sure more of them do, but I know for a fact, because they've sent me lots of photos, and I do remember once being in the middle of having a conversation with Chrissy and she tipped ink all over her desk. I'm not having the blame for that. She shouldn't have been texting and inking, but yeah. She, I know that, I think her and Amber do a lot of, they're both admin in our Facebook group. They do a lot of mixed media stuff, and I do find it quite fascinating, because I think it's a real skill. Because if it's not your thing, if it's not your jam, it's not that easy to just pick it up then. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. So I think I'll leave the video there for today now, because I think I've been chattering on here for quite a while, getting lost in my journal design. Let those dry, and then I'll come back then in the next video, and hopefully they'll be ready then for us to make into our little cluster flowers. All right, so thanks for joining me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you've enjoyed crafting along with me. If you haven't yet subscribed, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and also to click on the little bell, because that'll let you know then whenever we're uploading new videos. And if you'd leave a like and a comment, really would appreciate that. That'd be great. So have a great day, and I'll be back with you very soon. Bye now.